Hello, my name is Suli Richardson, and I am the Community Education Program Manager here at Desert Financial Credit Union. And today I am excited to be able to talk to you about how to create a basic spending plan, aka Budgeting 101. So the first thing that I want to talk about before I get into the details on a spending plan is finding your motivation. So sometimes people think about, creating a spending plan, a budget, and they kind of don't know where to start. But I think that one of the best places to start is to think about some things that you're motivated by. What are some things that you want to do that would help you to stay true to your spending plan? So I'm talking about finding your motivation. Why would you want to do this? First of all, a spending plan is work. If anybody tells you otherwise, it is not true. It is work, but it is good work. So I think that finding your motivation really is going to help you to be true to your spending plan, to follow through, and to make it work. So think about some things that is your motivation. Are you trying to just make better money decisions? Are you concerned with, living within your means? So spending less than your income. Some people might just want to save more money. Other people might be concerned with just paying off and getting out of debt. Or there might be some other reasons on why you would want to have a spending plan, have a budget. And one of the things I want to also mention is that sometimes when people think about a budget, they think restrictive. I can't spend money. I need to be frugal. That is not what it is at all. When you're working from a spending plan, what you're doing or a budget, you're actually making a plan for how you spend your money. You're actually making choices that will help you to be in the driver's seat of your finances and not be on autopilot. So finding your motivation is what you want to do before you even get into the details in making that spending plan. And then take those motivations, whatever they may be, and turn them into a goal. Yeah, a goal. Write them down. Having that goal and writing it down helps you to focus, and it also helps you to stay true to your spending plan. Because when you set up a goal and you only have it in your mind on the things that you want to accomplish, many times it's never going to happen. You have to have the visual. And then also beyond having that visual, you want to turn it into a SMART goal. And a SMART goal answers the questions of who, what, when, where, and how. How are you going to do it? Whatever that goal is, whether it is, buying a car, buying a house, paying for college, even taking a vacation. You can take all of those, whatever your goals are, write it into a SMART goal, make it a visual. So more than just writing down the words, I recommend, and I would say, take a picture. Take a picture of that vacation spot, take a picture of the car you want, the house, the neighborhood, whatever that motivation is that's going to help you to create that goal and to stick to that. Create a visual and then put it someplace where you can really see it. And so the SMART goal means that you're going to be very specific. It's going to be measurable. It's going to be achievable. It's going to be realistic, and it is going to be timely. And so now we're looking at a really very simple example on how to set a SMART goal. And so this example just talks about, I want to save $1,000. I want to do it in 1 year. That's it. It is very smart. It is very specific. $1,000 1 year. So now I have to think about, how am I going to make that happen? So sit down and think about, how am I going to get this money into an account in a year? And so do the math. There's 12 months in a year. So 1,000 divided by 12 months is $84. And if you get paid twice a month, then break it down even further. And now you've got $42 a pay that you can put into this account. And that is a very simple, easy way that you can take and apply to any of your goals, but you have to be very specific. So the first step in creating your spending plan, your budget, is to list your income sources. So for most people, a lot of people, it would be a paycheck. But besides a paycheck, there are potentially so many other sources of income. So paycheck, some people might get benefits, there's retirement, there's recycling, rental income, scholarships, self-employment, side jobs, even your tax refund. And this is tax season, so you really want to count that income, if you get a refund, as your income, because it is income. Regardless of what you want to do with that money, it is always still income. So document your income sources or potential income sources. And so there's many different income sources that you see. That's the first step. The second step is to determine your bills, but not just only your bills, you're also going to determine your spending. So what do you spend money on besides your necessary expenses? Because we know that, housing, telephone, food, transportation, water, utilities, there's some things that we have to live that are critical. But then there's some other places and things that we spend money on that is kind of unnecessary. And so I do want to call out on this slide savings. So you see the little piggy bank? That means savings is a bill. And the other thing I want to say about this is to give yourself an allowance as you are creating your spending plan. Put some money in your spending plan so that you can have an allowance, so that you can spend money on some of the things that you value, that you enjoy. And with your savings, make sure to automate, automate, automate. You're paying yourself first, set your savings up on automatic pilot so that the money doesn't touch your hands. You can use direct deposit, account transfers, transfer it with your payroll. You can go through your financial institution, through us, Desert Financial, and set up monthly transfers through online banking. But don't let the money touch your hands, and treat your savings like a bill. And then these are examples of all of your expenses. They're probably going to fall into one or three of these categories. You're going to have your fixed expenses, which is be like your housing, maybe insurance. Then there's some other expenses that are flexible, that is kind of pretty hard to kind of calculate how much it's going to be every single month. Then you've got your periodic expenses. And those are the things that would surprise you if you are not really keeping track. So maybe there's something that comes out of your bank account that's a bill that happens every 3 months or twice a year or once a year. So when you're sitting down and you're working on your budget, make sure to look at a calendar and pre-plan ahead for those unexpected expenses so that you can put some money aside for those periodic expenses. And then, of course, you can't have a budget or a spending plan without doing some kind of tracking. So find some way that you want to track, whether it is receipts, a notebook, there you can use your calendar, there are apps, whatever works for you. But you have to have some kind of tracking. And then this is the budget template. This is one of my favorites. There are so many budget templates out there, but this is my favorite because it breaks it down per week. So find a template that you are comfortable with and then use it, and try a few. Don't be stuck with just one. If you try one, you don't like it, then try another one. Then there's also many budgeting apps that you can also use to help you with your spending plan. And as you're tracking your spending, what you might find is that your habits cost probably quite a lot. Pizza every week, once a month, it's going to cost me $100 a month. If I'm really trying to work on reaching a financial goal and I can't figure out where I'm going to get the money from, I might want to look at my habits. So over the course of a year, that's going to be $1,200. The devil is in the details. So look at your spending on your habits. The third step is doing the math. When you're creating your spending plan, you've got to do the math. You cannot have just a laundry list of all your debts, but you never pull it together and do the math. And using a worksheet can actually help you to do that because you're documenting everything. And I would also say document on a frequent basis. And so the fourth step is that you're going to review and make changes as necessary. And really, you're kind of doing it at the end of the month. You can do it throughout the month. The ideal is to not put your finances on autopilot and never look to see what you're doing. Then communicate, communicate, communicate. If you have others in the family that are contributing to the household finances, the budget, their spending, and you have a goal that you're trying to achieve, you have to communicate, whether it's in a family meeting, but let people know what the goals are, let people know what the finances look like so that they can kind of share in those expectations. And then the fifth step is that you're going to maintain your spending plan and your budget. Maintain. That means that you're going to continue to track, you're going to make adjustments as necessary, you're going to review your goals that you set up to make sure that they're still valid and that you're still on point, because you might have had some life-changing event that at the beginning, when you started your spending plan and you had that goal and you were saving that money, and maybe something happened and now you have a decrease in money coming in, so you might have to make some adjustments. Don't think of your spending plan as something that is set in stone. It is a living, moving, breathing document. And so it will change. And so just a recap of what we talked about, there are 5 steps to create your spending plan. The first is to list your income sources. The second is to determine your expenses. The third is to do the math. Remember, you got to do the math. And by doing the math, that means you have to have been doing some tracking during the month. And then the fourth step is that you're going to review and make changes as necessary. And then the last step is that you're just going to manage and maintain your spending plan. Thank you so much, and I hope this information has been helpful.